talking about something that just changed after the attack on the Diori Amani International Airport that represents a strategic backbone for the Nigerian authorities and the Nigerian people. Not only does it house strategic military capabilities like the strategic vectors that keeps the Nigerian air superiority in place, but also it houses the uranium that are about to be exported from Niger. So, according to information after the attempted attack on the Diori Amani International Airport that got foiled by the Nigerian forces, now we have a breaking information. Immediately after the attack, on Thursday, June 19, the day after the airport attack, Niger's Interior Ministry issued a statement broadcast on national radio. According to information, they said, due to the current security situation and the operational commitment of the Nigerian Armed Forces, the ministry informs international organizations, national and international NGOs, and the United Nations agencies present in Niger. Please let me come again. The Nigerian authorities informed international organizations that are present in Niger Republic, national and international NGOs, and the United Nations agencies present in Niger Republic, all right, that all activities or movements in the zones of operation of these organizations are temporarily suspended with immediate effect. This is the immediate measure that Niger Republic took after this attack. That is a clear message. And it is how quick you get response from these so-called international organizations when you make bold move like this. After the attack, they did not even talk about it. They did not condemn the terrorist attack. Yeah, we got condemnation from Algeria. First of all, we got condemnation from Benin Republic. I've been telling a lot of people, it's like Benin Republic current authority, they are different, okay? In my opinion. I think Romuald Wadagni is on a different page entirely, all right? But from Ivory Coast is a no-no for me. I just finished watching a video that have just been made by the Ivorian regime. And when you look at everything that was said in the video, you cannot change these people. Just forget it. You cannot change them. You cannot. There is nothing that the Ivorian authorities will say, directly or indirectly, that has any sort of credibility at all. These people are just the way they are. You cannot change them. You see, the conversation about what was said is not something we will talk about today. It's annoying. They are trying to create a dispute. They are trying to stir up a conflict with Burkina Faso. It all looked like propaganda from them. Even when they interviewed the GOC of the Northern Theater of Operation in Ivory Coast, according to the GOC, he said that the Burkinabe forces have not for once provoked them. That sometimes the VDP of Burkina Faso can enter the Ivorian territory. He said because of the proximity of the boundary, this is something that can happen. He said there's no need to stir up chaos. You know why? He's the GOC, he's the one in the Northern Theater of Operation. He knows what's up. But some people, I don't know who they are, but the whole thing sound like A French journalist was behind the camera, just trying to create discord. And you know the funny thing, if they create this conflict, it's not going to be a French citizen that is going to fall first. It's going to be the military. It's going to be the sons and daughters of those countries that are going to fall first. So the question is, what's the interest of Ouattara? Who is Ouattara? That's my big question. You let this miscreants come into our midst and create discord. I was looking at the old documentary. You know, they asked from one of the residents, and she said that terrorists have come into the Ivorian territory and they've threatened. Even there was a cleric that said they came to their mosque when they were worshiping, and the terrorists threatened them. Again, I'm going to ask, whose interest is Ouattara serving? The northern territory of Ivory Coast was so abandoned. Let's be honest. I didn't see no military. I didn't see no sufficient military presence. And if you listen to what the locals in the northern territory were saying, it's as if they've forgotten those guys. Probably that was why you see a lot of terrorists moving across the whole region. It's so shameful. But then let's get back to the main information. All right. So the CNSP made this bold and emphatic statement that they want all international organizations and NGOs to suspend their activities immediately. Now, let me read again. United Nations agencies, international NGOs, national NGOs, all activities, all movements in their zone of operation is temporarily suspended. United Nations agencies. That is Niger stepping a mud in the face of everybody. Because the question is, when has the United Nations condemned these acts? When has the United Nations even looked into the affairs of the French in West Africa and be like, okay, what you are doing, you've been alleged on multiple occasions. They've not even investigated, they've not done anything. Oh, thank you so much, Roxy Angel. Thank you so much. Support to flow. This community is something else. So now the Western press, they are trying to frame the whole decision as they called it an authoritarian overreach. According to the information, they said the Nigerian president is crushing civil society with this decision. They said it's a crackdown on humanitarian access. Dutch Well already ran a piece this week calling the Sahelian president a threat to basic freedom. This whole framing is predictable. You definitely know what they are going to say. So you can talk this much, but when the attack happened, you did not condemn it. Stopping the activities of the NGO and stopping, in my own opinion, I don't even think there is much to say about who these people are. It's just like we are running, the same thing over and over, right? But what I have to say is that in the first place, why is Niger making this decision now? You know, Niger recently, there was this PR that was running in the Western media where they said Niger is now collaborating with the US. The US is now, they are now working with Niger in terms of security collaboration and all of this. So when these attacks happen, I see all this suspension of NGOs and all of that. I see it as reactional. All right. I don't see it as being proactive at all. How many NGOs are you going to suspend? Why not suspend everything? You have oil, you have uranium, you have gold. Why not give humanitarian support to the Nigerians with Nigerian resources through the income generated from this? Why should we have all this international organization coming in to destabilize? It's becoming too much. And the reactional measure is now looking like we are not serious. I have to be honest at this point. And every time you suspend them, they criticize and all of that. Why not just send everybody out at once? Let the criticism come once and let that be all. And any other agency or allied agents that is still working for them that is being caught, let them face the consequence. It is how they continue to capture some of this NGO time after time after time after time. Are they the only ones? Well, that said, so Nigeria Republic came from having 4,700 NGOs. How many states are in Nigeria Republic? How many provinces? How many towns? Let's put one NGO in each town. How many towns? Okay, how many communities are there in Nigeria Republic? That you have 4,700 NGOs. Then they cancelled majority of this. They withdrew their operational license. And when they suspended the first group, which was about 2,900 NGOs, they now are about 1,800 left. Honestly, you see, this number of NGOs is disrespectful. It's very, 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 very bad. And sometimes you see, I think our people too are part of the problem. I did see somebody who has no job, nothing. You give birth to 12 children. You have no job. You have nothing. You cannot even feed yourself. You give birth to 12 children. The second to the last born is all like I was trying to calculate the age, like the difference. One was still almost not working. You are almost 9 months pregnant for another one. So then why won't these elements walk in and be talking about giving humanitarian support? So that is the response from the Nigerian authorities that we're getting today. And you see, it is, you see, all these NGOs, it's not because of me. No NGO can give support to me. Never. Never. It is this same people I'm talking about that the NGOs will give back to. The NGOs we need to give humanitarian support to. And we know the NGOs are not giving humanitarian support to these people because they are still the same way. We're not seeing any improvement. They have been in Niger for how long? According to the information that we received, these NGOs were sometimes situated around strategic military position. Their offices were not even they were very close to military positions. You already know what they were doing. According to official figures, those NGOs and associations, they were revolving around them was about $448 million, nearly $500 million, flowing through this organization. And this organization informed the Nigerian government that they could not account for this $448 million. Man, this is terrible. You guys, as you spent $448 million in Niger Republic. So the government asked, can you account for what you use this money? Like, account for how this money was spent. They cannot account for it. Can we equally account for how the terrorists end up getting some of the capabilities that they are getting? No, we cannot account for it. There is a relationship there. There is a relationship there. Man, so in my opinion, I think this should be the end. This last attack should be the end of it. But it is not in my purview to, decide what they do. According to information, on the 13th of June 2026, 9 French-based media outlets were suspended. Then on the 18th of June, airports, they evacuated some civilians that have not really evacuated the military, the airport zone. They were evacuated on the 18th of June. And the attack also happened on the 18th of June. On the 19th of June, these NGOs were suspended. So, and immediately, everybody started talking that this is an overreach on civil rights and all of that. What I would say about this is that we already know why this outburst, why everybody's shouting and all of that. And there's only one person the Nigerians have blamed. They've attached the name of President Emmanuel Macron to this terrorist attack. They didn't call anybody any other name. They called the name of the French president, President Emmanuel Macron. Well, that said, so this is the first information we're getting from Niger, and this is the reports. And now we're having a lot of we're having a lot of talks, we're having a lot of outbursts and all of that. So now, secondly, I would like to talk about what happened in Mali today or yesterday, because we're in another day. So there was a planned incursion. Now, the Russian African Corps posted a video where they were escorting civilian convoy and they were engaged by a large group of elements, and they had a one-on-one exchange, and you all can see how the elements were running and why they were trying to escape. A lot of them, because the Russian African Corps and the Malian armed forces, they seriously suppressed the enemy. So something happened. So the Russian African Corps and the Malian armed forces were on patrol. The infantries, they had their APCs, and at the front and at the back, around the convoy, they had heavy weapons like GPMGs mounted, those vehicles that they normally use, with a VN-22 at the back. So the patrol was going well, and at the time, the Sabas, which are the engineering reconnaissance units, they discovered improvised explosive device and they removed it. They detonated the first, they moved a little bit, they detonated the second. It was about 7 improvised explosive devices that were destroyed. And after the last improvised explosive device was destroyed, the elements started running. The sound of their motorcycles alerted the squad of the Malian and the Russian African Corps, and the contact started. Ladies and gentlemen, it was serious decimation of the terrorists. Like, I realized something in that video. If you if you compare the video from the Russian African court to this particular operation, you will know that standoff, one-on-one, the elements cannot stand up to the Malian armed forces. They cannot. They cannot stand up to the Malian armed forces. So what they were trying to do was to maybe the Malian, because it was a slow movement, it was a slow patrol. Probably if the Malian armed forces run into the improvised explosive device, the heavy weapons, they were going to get destroyed. So now it's going to be infantry against infantry. And if you look at the number of JNIM militia that ran, there should be 4 times the number of personnel that were patrolling. So they always rely on numerical advantage. But the moment they discovered that all the IEDs were destroyed, they don't stand a chance. And that was how they started their motorcycle and they started running. The Malian armed forces did not give them, they did not return they destroyed a lot of these elements. And if you look at the weapons they were carrying, I believe a lot of people have, let me just show the people that have not seen some of these weapons. Let me show you the people that have not seen some of this weapon. And on our Telegram channel, I'm going to be posting this video that I said the Ivorians made so that you all can see it. To me, I don't think the Ivorian authorities, I don't think they want peace actually. And by my own assessment, if the escalation should take place, I mean, it's going to be very, very ugly. I'm telling you. Because the squad that they have, the Burkinabes have around the Ivorian territory, those guys don't play. And those guys are like elite and professional. So these are the capabilities. If you look at it, you have less AK-47 and you have heavy guns around. So these are the Bina Diara squad. These are the Bina Diara squad. These are the Bina Diara squad. They really, really captured a lot of weapons. They brought in a lot of ammunition so that, they can seriously overwhelm the troops. But one thing I have noticed on the line of contact is that some of these elements cannot even carry the PKM, GPMG. They cannot carry the PKM. Like I've seen one of them like shot the PKM. The PKM was too heavy. Like the PKM he brought it up again, fired like 3 shots, went back with the PKM. Like, who are those people? So this was the exchange that they had with the Russian African Corps. And you can see the Bina Diara Islamic logo, right? And right here, that is Quran right there. That's Quran right there. That's Quran. These are Quran right here. These are Islamic books right here. Now, you know why I said these are Islamic books? It is very, very important for us to understand that, the Muslims in the house need to start re-educating the young Muslims that really, really might not understand what the principles of their religion really is. Because once the youths hear that this person has traveled to Saudi Arabia, is an Islamic scholar, they believe he's a smart human being. So a re-education, like serious re-education, is needed. Now, this is one of the JNIM that was captured. It came from Fada Ngoma in Burkina Faso. It's from Fada Ngoma in Burkina Faso. So it was captured when they were seriously suppressed by the Burkinabe armed forces. So what did he say? All right, because he's speaking the local dialect. According to him, he said, My name is Amadum alias Abdul Aziz. I am 25-year old. I am from Fada Ngoma area. I am a former member of Jamatu wa Nusrat wa Muslimin, right? Group for support of Islam and Muslim. And I was captured in March 2026 during an attack my group carried out against the combat forces in the Diampangu area. So they were on the offensive. According to me, said I joined Jamatu wa Nusrat wa Muslimin in 2023 in order to gain access. Listen to this brainwashing. Like, look, I'm angry right now. Listen to what he said, right? He said, no, because I need to remove my cap, but he said, I joined the Nusrat in 2023. That's what he said just now. He said, in order to gain access to paradise. Huh? He said, I joined Nusrat in 2023 in order to gain access to paradise. That is why I said the Muslims should now, the elderly Muslims that have their faculties intact, it's our time to re-educate the young ones. A serious re-education is very, very crucial at this point. I said, in order to gain access to paradise after my death. That was what he said. Indeed, terrorist groups will regularly come to preach in my village, inviting young people to join them so that they could fight together for the cause of Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what he said, right? In their sermons, the terrorists would repeatedly emphasize that this is jihad. Now he is calling them terrorists. He is a terrorist. But because he has been captured, he's calling them a terrorist. Now, let me tell you this. The older Muslims need to re-educate the younger Muslims. Do you know why? A young Muslim that has no clear understanding of what Islam is. Now, let me tell you something. When I was young, there were things I learned that I know not, like, I don't even know what I was learning. I don't know what I was doing. It's just like back in school. You have young kids that join certain groups because of peer pressure. When I was in secondary school, I had a friend of mine who was the best student in school. He was my best friend. I tried to beat him. I tried to outread him, to outwork him. I can't. He was just naturally a genius. So I made him my best friend. So at some point, I discovered he was a cultist. Now, he told me, at some point, he said, do I know why he's so intelligent? I said, why? He said, because he was a cultist. I don't know what happened. Our relationship started breaking, right? We started breaking. The guy is so intelligent. I've never seen somebody that intelligent before, right? So there are some youth too, all right, that they are joining different groups because of certain people that they have affiliation, like people they respect, people they love, people they look up to, like the elder brothers, and they just get them into this. All right. And before you know it, it's not like they understand what that group or organization is all about. They are into it. And by the time they are really informed about what they're into, It's now like, if you get out of this group, we are going to take you out. He's calling them terrorists now. Look at what he has become physically. Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. Look at what he has become. Oh, you can't see his face very well. Like he now looks like, let me tell you something. He now looks like a terrorist, because this is what most of them look like. They look emaciated, a bit in the bush. All they do is like continuously radicalize themselves. He said he has been there since 2023 in search of Jana, because they told him that if you unalive a lot of people, then after you listen to the statement. They said after his death, he will go to paradise. Now let me tell you, you see, a lot of people see me talking about 72 virgin. Then like I like making fun. I like you see, because it is what they tell them. They tell them that their some part of their anatomical structure will remain the way it's supposed to be, and the 72 virgins will come and they will start serving each of the 72 virgins, and their body will not, like, who the hell tell these people they are criminals, they are perverts, like they are everything terrible. Now this is where the problem is. I suspect that every young Muslim that is not properly educated about the concept of Islam, every young one, very young, that is naive and does not really understand why he's into Islam, is a potential target and is a potential candidate to become the next dangerous element. Because the foundation is there. They just need to reverse his psychology, and that's all. That's a weapon right there. That's a weapon right there. They just need to reverse his psychology, physically beat him up, and before you know it, it's gone. So that is why you go to a lot of places where people worship, and what they are telling their youths is, may God bless you to get money, this one and that. Like, this is not, a lot of nonsense is going on right now. People need to be re-educated. You see, that whole education is gone. People need to be, like, I think we need to we need to rewrite all the story at this point. Do you know how many young Muslims born into Muslim home, like one single family, very poor, 14, 15 kids in northern part of Africa, in this, from northern Nigeria, you understand, that are there. Do you get what I'm saying? That are there. They don't have, they don't have the financial resources to get the proper education. They are just there. So these are like potential terrorists. They just need to be captured. And that is why most of the time the terrorists kidnap. When they kidnap, most of the time they are not looking for ransom. No. Everybody that's fallen on the line of contact, they are looking to replace them. So it's easy. Now the boy is already in poverty. They tell him, don't worry, you are going to be rewarded for fighting for Jana. Now they told him after he's dead, they did not look. That is these people need education. That is why you see they don't wear bulletproof, they don't care about protection. Some of them, I've seen the videos of their final moments. Like, when it gets shot, they still cite some quotations. They believe that truly, I'm telling you, they believe it. I have listened to them talk. They believe it. So there is re-education. Now, let me tell you where the problem is. Because I've seen a lot of Muslims that will be like, they are not Muslims. No, they are Muslims. They were ill-informed. They were misinformed. They are Muslims. You see that denial? That denial is going to lead to a situation where you might be the next victim. So re-education is important. They are Muslims. That is one fact that we cannot take away. They are human beings. They are Africans. They are Muslims. They are from our own. Because they are bad. Don't deny them. Let's try and re-educate them. This is where, look, this is the latest battlefield now. We need to re-educate our young ones. There's a lot of naive ones out there. When you are naive, you are poor, you are in poverty, you don't have education, you become suicidal, you become extremely desperate. Take it, look, everybody that is living a good life, that looks good, become a target. If you've never been so poor, if you've never struggled, suffered very badly in life, you won't understand what I'm talking about. So, these people need to be re-educated. But you see these ones that are already into it, they need to be taken out. What I'm saying now is the attrition rate, so that they won't be able to sustain the attrition. We need to re-educate the ones that have not been captured. Imagine Nigeria population, 241 million people. I know that's false. The last time I got, when did we get counted last? Can you remember the last time we got counted? It's been a long time. Nobody counts anybody here. I can guarantee you that we are more than 300 million in this country. No, we are more than 300 million. So your troops, how many soldiers do we have? And before you know it, the day after tomorrow, the number is overwhelming. Where are they getting them from? But you just deleted almost 1,000. I'm telling you, they will replace it with 4,000. So a re-education of the ones that have not been captured. Then the political class. You see, democracy is not for us. At this point, I'm saying it with my full chest. Democracy is not for us. For those people that continue to say you want to go and vote on the ballot box, especially in Nigeria, be very, very careful. 3 politicians just stole 210 trillion. That is the destiny of some kids that will later go and become bandits. You won't face the politicians. 210 trillion. And this same politician, in the name of Mele Kyari, now people are saying allegedly, this man, they said he was taking out, according to the official statement, that he was taking out 15 suitcases that was filled with gold bars. When they estimated it, illegally mined 15 gold bars. He was shipping them to the Middle East. It was estimated to be $4 billion. $4 billion. That is in a single trip. How many trip? How many trip has this man, gone with the resources of this country? So when you see people getting displaced, getting taken out, when have your politician been worried before? Have you ever seen your politician get worried? These are the foot soldiers. Your politicians are even worse. Thank God for the Sahel. The politicians no longer have any foothold, but you can see that they are fighting to come back. Because this is what they used to do. Have you ever heard any Nigerian politician talk good about the Sahelian leaders? This is the reason. They don't only take gold, they take lithium. Man, this is serious, honestly. This is serious. This is serious. And man, so this is the situation we have, right? This is the situation we have. So today we talked about the decision of Niger Republic, which I think is too reactionary. To be sending the NGOs out at this point is too late. They should all be out at this point because people are bleeding, people are dying. How can you have over 4,000 NGOs in a single country? How many districts do you have in Niger Republic? How many provinces? That aside, what's the population? Now you have 4,000 plus. Then apart from that, we talked about the counter-offensive in Mali, and we talked about why it's working well. Now we are beginning to see more and more operation of the Kronstadt Orion in Mali. Very, very good operational capability. It gives the Russian African Corps and the Malian Armed Forces, it gives them this improvement in their operational capability. The enemies cannot match. They cannot match the levels. I have seen what I've seen on the battlefield, and based on my assessment, it's a matter of time. But we cannot continue. Now, overall, the problem have developed our military. No military can say that they are good, that they are elite without being tested. The Sahelian military, they are well tested. In Africa right now, they are the best. Look, you don't call yourself the best when I think they are up there with the Nigerian army. They are up there because the Nigerian army equally they are getting tested too on the line of contact. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Chad, these are the best military out there. You can't match, you cannot. So for the people that want trouble with these people, you better think twice. These are people that almost every second their consciousness is on point. Like they know what's up. So they are not some troops that are bullying civilians and beating civilians during election. That's not what you have there. Now again, we can for how long do we want to continue to kill people? Okay, you delete this, you drop airstrike on this. Yeah, they get the fear. The fear is there that, oh, if I join this organization, Jamatu wa Nusrat, whatever they call the name, they know that the threat of death is there. But imagine the psychology. Like you tell somebody that, yeah, you will die, but you will go to you will go to Jannah and you will get 72 virgin reward. And even though that's pervert, you get 72 virgin reward, you get everything you want in your life. You see, he said they told them that it is jihad. In Ivory Coast, the man they met in the northern village in Ivory Coast, he said they come to their mosques and they preach to them. In Wuru local government, where over 400 people disappeared from the action of these elements, the Lakurawa wrote letter to them that we want to come and preach. This is how they recruit. They don't even pay to recruit. They promise them money, then they recruit them with that deceit. Most of the time, people of other religion will run away. The people that get captured, what happens to them? So this is what I'm saying. If they capture a Muslim that is a non-terrorist, their job is already easy because the victim that have been captured is a Muslim. They will entice him by telling him, how good is your Arabic? Maybe they give him the Quran, read the Quran to us. Now he start feeling special. They start incentivizing. They start giving him money. They keep them in the bush. They continue to read the Quran. Now they will bring. Have you not seen foreigners in this forest? We've seen foreigners. They start bringing people from Syria. You start having cleric, this Sunni Salafi cleric from Libya, from Algeria, coming to talk to them and telling them, "Ema jagusono ese." Be fighting to the path of religion. And they will now tell them, you will get neutralized. That is that part that we must not deny. You will get neutralized, but when you get neutralized, you will go to Alojana, where you will get 72 virgin. Now, they are not denying the fact that they will get, they are not deceiving them that they won't be neutralized. That's why you see them, they are happily going to their death. They run. It's human, I think it's human physiologic response. It's 3F. You either fight, you fly, and you are frightened. So they run. But they've been remodeled. So instead of people to say they are not Muslims, no, they are misinformed. Misinformation is not an excuse. You get neutralized at the end of the day. But I'm saying this so that they will not continue to increase their attrition rates. The attrition metadata states that they are bleeding out fast. But how can we make this Western new enterprise in Africa, how can we make it history? Is to educate the ones, to re-educate the ones that have not experienced it. The first time they experience it, we don't know if they will ever want to come back. So this is the message. So don't take it as an insult. When somebody say, oh, that terrorist that have just been neutralized is a Muslim. Yes, he is. But does he represent Islam? You are a Muslim. It's different from Islam. We have Shia Islam. We have Sunni Islam. Under Sunni, we have different branch of it. And you will see different people with different identity. Some people think, I hate Islam. No, I don't hate Islam. Like I said, I came from a Muslim background. But my message is simple. We need to re-educate the young ones. Nigeria used to be good. We used to travel for over 10 hours by road with my dad and everybody. We'll go to Ikire. We will go and celebrate Ileya. And once we want to celebrate, I used to follow my grandfather to Idi. I used to love the way the Muslims conduct themselves. But it came to a point, good people stopped speaking. And the dummies started becoming louder. The apologists of terrorism they started increasing numerically because the good ones kept quiet. And look at what we have today. So this is, I don't hate people. I don't like a terrorist. I don't see terrorists as a human. Don't taste it. There is no forgiveness for you. But for the ones that can be potential targets, these are the ones we need to go for. You are wasting your time if you are going to an urban settlement. For those clerics out there that used to do evangelism, you will go to cities, you will go to see intelligent place where intelligent men are living. You go and be disturbing them with megaphone and be telling them to give their life to Christ. You cannot go to where terrorists are and be preaching to them, Abi. You come and be doing evangelism and be waking people early. Early in the morning, you'll be waking people up to come and give their life to Christ. And no, those are the people that you should go and preach to, not us. We are informed. I cannot suddenly be misinformed. Those are the targets. Go and preach to them. Don't waste your time. And this is it. You have the mosques. I have not heard any of our Islamic cleric that surrounds us here preaching the right thing. Go to Saudi Arabia. Are they behaving like this? Sheikh Gumi from Nigeria wanted to travel to South Africa. They removed him. Saudi Arabia did not even allow him to get there. Why always this? Why is he always us? You want to overdo everything. Now he has been captured. For me, I don't think they should rehabilitate because there's nothing to rehabilitate. He claimed that he joined JNIM in 2023. I don't believe. I believe this one has been in JNIM for so long. You've taken out troops. You've taken out a lot of people. I don't think you cannot be rehabilitated. These are not our, you see these ones, they are not our targets. It is the young ones that have not been informed. Those are the ones, those are the targets. And if we go this way, then this war can end. But if we don't if we don't approach the solution like this, it will not end. You can see Niger. They banned the preaching of 3 Islamic clerics. They banned immediately. They are Muslim. General Chiani is a Muslim. A lot of people want to claim that General Chiani, Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita is a Muslim. Those are methodic, highly educated and informed Muslims. They are representing Islam the right way. They are practicing the religion, but they know that number 1, they have to be patriots first. Number 2, if you practice religion the right way, why would you go to another person's house and destroy the whole place? They are practicing the right thing. So please, if you have a voice, if you have influence, and you are watching me, your voice is needed. It's becoming more desperate. If we don't approach it this way I'm saying, you will run away from your territory. I'm telling you. In Nigeria now, there are some people that 10 years ago, they bought properties in these places. They will never return there again. So like I said, when good people keep quiet, the foolish ones will become louder, and that is a problem. So if you have a voice in any capacity, your voice is very, very important at this point. It's very, very important at this point. And it applies to all religion. In Christianity, they are multiplying the stupidity. They are multiplying criminality. That's what those ones are doing. They are multiplying mediocrity. That's what they are doing. You see somebody come out in church and be like, I went to write an exam. Professional exam. You did not do anything. You just said, God, please, over to you. And you pass that exam. You should be, the person that marked the exam should be arrested. Because if he's not under influence, why will you pass that exam? So people start believing that they can earn things, not on merit, but through some things that don't exist. This will now multiply incompetence. We need to we need reorientation in this continent. That is why we are not developing. That's why we are not building anything. You see Nigeria, they will say that it's a continent like it's a country that imports everything. And what is this? You go from places to places, you see church, you see mosque. And this is a problem. You see a pastor touch, they be like, I see you becoming this. What are you doing? They see you becoming a multimillionaire. What are you doing? That's why you have Nigerians all over the place now begging. They're begging for help. They will say, oh, we help you, will not stress you. These things, these methods, this ideology, they were influenced from religious, homes. Because they know on Sunday you will go there, on Friday these ones will go there. First of all, we need to change ourselves. We can't win this war. This is the West fighting against us by miseducating and misinforming us, using our own people as the machine. It's a lose-lose. They say during slave trade, they came with their forces. Is it their forces now? Now you see clerics competing for private jets. You hardly have youths argue about you hardly see them having mental argument again. The argument is who is richer between this person and this person. A Nigerian was invited to a channel. A black American was talking to the Nigerian. Let me not talk about the tribe of the Nigerian. The black American was speaking, and the next thing, this Nigerian shameless human being said, what did he say? What did that guy say? That Nigerian guy that the American told to shut up, African. He was telling the American that how much do you have, or what is your something like your financial worth or something. This is how they judge competence. It's wrong. And the guy lost he crashed out. He said, shut up while I'm talking, African. How does that make you different from Netanyahu? I think you've watched the video. How does that make you different? Like, I looked at the whole thing. They both see those two. They represent. They are shaped. Like, I looked at it. Like these are Africans. The Nigerian entity that spoke, he disgraced everything. Like everybody represent and everything he represents. And this is what we are talking about. A society where everybody only worship money. You don't worship intellect. This is why we have the president we have now. Because you worship money. You know the truth, but you want to be manipulated. Because you like it. I was talking to people yesterday. I've lost hope in this country. I was talking to people yesterday, and they were saying they wish it was their brothers that were senators, that were in the House of Rep, that they will encourage their brothers to steal money so that they can share it too. Honestly, right? This is why I don't take everything concerning Captain Ibrahim Traore, General Abdurrahmani Chiani, and Assimi Goita. This is why I take these people to the closest part of my heart. Look, I love these people to the last extent, including Natalie Yam. You will know that is a no-nonsense, intelligent human being. People are trying to claim, they are trying to create division and all that. It can't work. When you see people that have substance, you know them. You can identify, you can see them. And finally, to the Nigerians, I'm happy to announce to you that Nigeria has started producing cruise missiles. Nigeria is producing cruise missiles now. That's so very, very beautiful cruise missile like that. It said it can fly 100 kilometers. That's the maximum range of the cruise missile, 100 kilometers. At least they've started something, right? It carries a payload of I think I think it's less than 50 kiloton, you know. They said it carries about, I think, 20 kilogram payload. At least if Nigeria have started producing cruise missiles, that's beautiful. But we need to do more. This should motivate all our other African brothers. You know, we must do more. We must encourage credibility among us. We must stop respecting people because they have money. Go and look at most of your celebrities in Nigeria. Some of them have, when they talk, you wonder who are those people. But you encourage, you push them up, but they influence your youths. And that is why the rot is now becoming unstoppable. So we need to work hard. We need to do better. So I want to thank you. I'm beginning to talk too much. If I don't stop, I won't stop. So I just want to give you all a wonderful good night. I want to bid you all well. I love everybody, regardless of your religion. I don't hate any. Look, and that's the message I want to pass across. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate Christians. I don't hate the traditionalists. I don't hate anybody. In fact, because I see you as a human being first. But we need to re-educate our people. If you greet me, assalamu alaikum, I'm going to greet you wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. If you say God bless me, I'm going to say God bless you. If you shout Jesus, I will shout Jesus. It doesn't define me. I'm human first. I am one of you. You cannot push me away. I am one of you. Because I see myself in you at all time. And this is how we must continue. So thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.